Greetings, everyone. I'm Luke Bryan Smith, and welcome to Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved. Hope everybody's doing well. Wait, I believe everybody's doing well. I have faith everybody's doing well, and everything is just unfolding perfectly. I'm excited yet again. You always hear me say that because I'm always excited, to speak and engage in dialogues in high vibrational, positive, enlightening dialogues with people from around the world. Today is no different. I have an amazing show set up for you today, and I'm talking to Kelly Libby. And before she speaks and tells you anything about her, let me tell you a little bit about her. Okay, so Kelly, a mind-body consultant and intuitive inspirational speaker, writer, and yogi. She serves international clientele with her pioneering transformational healing work. Part of the new generation of understanding of the mind, body, energy, and psyche, coupled with her keen intuitive insight, give her clients unparalleled deep transformation. She offers insight, action, and support to resolve deeply or acutely held patterns that underlay physical, emotional, or life imbalances. She specializes in helping her clients create unapologetic, massive levels of physical thrive, beauty, and freedom. She's the author of the soon-to-be released book, From Depression to Liberation. That sounds awesome. The Path to Personal Freedom. Wow. Which describes the ancestral programs, traumas, patterns, beliefs, and paradigms that get passed down generation to generation, and how clearing these invisible prisons can release us from generations of burden, lack, smallness, and limitation, and set us free to fulfill our own unique destiny and true heart's desires with bounding health and beautiful bodies. Wow, that sounds amazing. How are you doing today, Kelly?
I'm awesome. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you because this is something that I love talking about. Wow. Just because I feel like just having conversation can liberate people, as you know. So I'm so excited and grateful for this opportunity.
I'm excited as well. And this is a special show in regards to just me getting started again. I haven't done a show in almost 2 months now. I took a break. I did a lot of them, almost 100 episodes. And I just wanted to take a break to kind of focus on some other things and just to, recharge. But, and then a lot of people, I kept getting a lot of emails and messages asking when I was going to resume the show. And I said, look, I'm not going to stop. It's just that I have other things going on. But so you're the first one in 2 months. So this is amazing.
Awesome. Yeah, we all needed that break to recalibrate. That's been across the board, something that's been happening. So it's good to just always feel into what you need and trust it. Always trust it. Yeah.
Right, Kelly. So let's just dive right into it. I said I was going to reference to your amazing, extraordinary bio here. So a mind-body consultant. Let's just start there. Mind-body consultant and intuitive inspirational speaker. I mean, we'll just start there. How did this unfold that you became a mind-body consultant? How did that happen?
Yeah, so interesting story. I was in a job, the job, and it was just your typical job, and I was there for 7 years. I'm like, this cannot be my life. Like, there's got to be something more to life than just like this, working a job, doing something I don't care about. So I'm like, all right, I am going to do something that lights me up, that I'm interested in, that I want to know about. So I became a holistic health consultant and holistic health practitioner. And after sitting with so many clients and hearing their stories and going through their symptoms and everything, I'm like, there's something else going on here. And that's when I discovered this ability that I had to just zoom right into what was actually going on. And what was actually going on was never something that started with the physical body. It was always something that they were holding on to, how they were holding themselves back, how they were suppressing their energy, their own energy flow. And that was what was throwing their body into a wobble. That was what was throwing their life into a wobble. And it's all connected. And so what I really wanted to do was to give the holistic health field a new language that would make sense to people. You know, rather than thinking about illness, we can just think of it as a contraction in your field. And rather than the word wellness, we think about it as expansion of evolution, of expression, because those are the only two things that are happening in the universe. It's expression, expansion, or contraction. And when we just keep it really simple with that language, we can get to the root of the problem, because it's never a lack of, you know, pharmaceutical that's causing what's going on, right? It's
if I may interject just a sec, because you have so much, and I want to make sure that I elaborate on a few things that you're talking about already. First of all, I relate to what you're saying, is to put it quite simply, about us getting in our own way. I'm guilty of that, and for the majority of my life, I'd say for most of my life, I've been in my own way until I went through a quote unquote transformation. Now, the question I want to ask you is, have you always known or been interested in like helping people, or to help people reach towards their higher selves or connect with the universe? I mean, have you always, is it something that you went through per se yourself that guided you in that direction, or you just?
I would say ultimately I've always had that impetus to help and to heal and to like figure things out. I always called myself a dancer and a scientist. Right. I've always wanted to like figure it out and figure out how people work and how things work. I've always had that impetus. Did I ever think that I would be in the world doing what I'm doing now? No, never thought of that. But I think that once you start down a path, it's the right path, you can't not do it. It like, you've got to get it out of yourself, right? You've got to express it. You've got to tell people about it, because that's the way that energy flows. It expresses.
That's who you are.
If we just get out of our own way, so to speak, it will just come. And our job is to literally get out of the way and let nature do its thing. And it sounds so simple, and it should be simple, but you know how it goes. We get all up in our head and get in our own way and judge it. And is it right or is it wrong? And if I could give people one little piece of advice, it's stop making yourself wrong for wanting what you want, for being who you are, for wanting to talk about what you want to talk about, for expressing the way you want to express. Like, just stop making yourself wrong, and then your life will open up.
I like to say that's amazing, Kelly. And that I resonate with everything that you're saying thus far. I like to say that, to basically, instead of criticizing, I'm learning this still myself. And being so hard on myself is just to observe and then find out, why I'm thinking this way, or is this serving me in a good way, or if not, make some adjustments. But that's amazing. So you're an inspirational speaker, a writer, a yogi. Now, inspirational speaking, how did that come about?
Again, it was one of those things that when I have something to talk about, it kind of magnetizes the right opportunity to me and the right audience to get it out. And when I decided that I wanted to start talking about things that I had downloaded or I had come to understand, the right engagements would come about, and I got invited to speak at different colleges and different groups of people. And it's something that just lights me up. And again, that's one of the keys to know when you're on the right path, is when you feel lit up and energized by what you're doing, you're on the right path.
And I like what you referred to as far as attracting, basically what you need at the right time. And I'm finding that a lot too. Just like, I don't think it's a coincidence that, I reached out to you to be on this show. Everything is unfolding.
Exactly.
Like I said at the beginning of the show, everything is unfolding perfectly.
Exactly.
The universe, I like to say the universe is the perfect orchestrator. So all we do is need to get out of our own way and get in alignment and allow, and things will open up. So
exactly.
What are some of the key things that you talk about as an inspirational speaker that that really lights you up? Just a couple of things maybe.
Yeah, but there are two main topics that I usually speak about. One is that new language around health and wellness, expansion and contraction, so people can start to have more control over their energy, because your energy is the creator of everything in your life, right? So that conversation is always a beautiful conversation to have, because people start to realize how much control they do have when they start to feel themselves contract, how to get themselves back into expansion to move their life forward, or to resolve something in their health or whatever's happening. And the other thing that I really love talking about is the idea of purpose. And because I think that's a question that so many people have, like, what the hell am I supposed to be doing here? I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. And no, like, your head doesn't know what you're doing, but it's written in your body. And so something I love helping people do is tap into that lower wisdom center, the lower dantian, or also the second chakra, and feel what's there, and feel what the information feels like, and feel what that deep wisdom is that wants to come forward. Not just the deep wisdom that wants to be shared, but the desire that's there, right? Because it is the desire, Abraham talks a lot about the rockets of desire. It's the desire that keep us moving forward. And we have to trust that those desires are the breadcrumbs that keep us moving in our aligned path, even if those desires don't necessarily make sense to the brain, right? It's not the brain's job to run this ship. It's the brain's job to follow direction from your deeper wisdom, and to back you up on those desires. But following those desires are what bring you towards your purpose. And it's the most, I would say, liberating thing that you can do with yourself, because a lot of people are, we're searching for an answer outside of ourselves, where we're doing our card readings, and we're consulting with people, and those are all great things, and I've done them all. Right. But really, the wisdom it's in us. And I used to hate when people would say that to me. It's like, but I don't understand. I can't hear it. I can't get it. This is so frustrating.
It's amazing. If I may pause you for a second, because I can tell that you're just full of just amazing insight and perspectives, and I want you to hold those, because I want to hear. But I have to say this: it's so exciting to hear you talk about, first of all, to not come from a place where only you have the answers, and you're leading people to think that they must talk to you to get the answers. No, right. You are letting people know that they have the power, but you're here to help from your perspectives, your knowledge, your skill set, to help them to get in tune what's within themselves. And that's amazing, because we need people like you to help. And that is of tremendous value. And I mean, monetarily, in all kinds of ways, for people's happiness and everything. Mm-hmm. Is very important. And that's amazing that you're doing that work. And you also made reference to Abraham, in which I'm a big fan of Abraham Hicks and Esther Hicks. I love listening to Esther Hicks' channel, Abraham and talk. And I love her voice, and just amazing. I've learned some amazing things from listening. So that's amazing. So that's another affirmation that I was meant to talk to you, because it's amazing. Yes.
Yeah, the idea of desire and purpose, and I really like to connect purpose with desire, because sometimes we get stuck in our head around purpose, thinking it has to be this huge grandiose thing, but that's like trying to eat the whole elephant at once, right? It's like our desire will bring us to the fullest expression of who we are, which is our ever evolving purpose. But the desire is actually what keeps, if we look at our energy as a quantum field, our energy flows up and comes around the body, and up and around the body. We have that toric field. And it is from that, the rockets of desire, so to speak, it comes from the second chakra. That is everything that makes you feel alive, right? And when we are doing what makes us feel alive, which means it can be doing something, it can be experiencing something, it can be speaking about something, it can be having something, our whole field comes into vibrational harmony, which then everyone that's connected with us, it begins to set their field into vibrational harmony. And so when we're doing us, so to speak, that's when we are in service to everyone around us, just vibrationally. It's the most incredible thing.
That's amazing. Because that even to simplify it, I got to make sure that I know what I'm saying right now. But that reminds me of working on yourself first. And that's from the work that you do on yourself will radiate out to others. That, I mean, just simply put like that. And that's amazing, because everything that you're saying right now, it's amazing, because I listened to a man by the name of Greg Braden that talks about the same thing that you were just talking about, and Bob Proctor about the chakras and the energy and all that. So it's amazing.
Yeah, you know, and they've quantified those scientists, you know, Bruce Lipton, Greg Braden, you know, they've quantified all this in you know, because we can measure these things now, to see what our field looks like, and is it in harmony, is it not, but to make that super accessible for people, it's like, okay, what are you desiring that you've been making yourself wrong about? What are you wanting to be that you've been making yourself wrong about? What are you wanting to express that you've been making yourself wrong about? Because when we start to open up that channel of flow, it is called the liberation channel for a reason. It's like we give it a voice, we give it legs, we give it meaning, we give it expression out into the world, and that is ultimately our purpose, you know. But it also is what heals us. It also is what heals us, because stepping into our power is what heals us. And I tell people this all the time, like, you don't need to be healed or fixed. You just need to own your wholeness in this moment. You just need to step into your power in this moment, and you are healed, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah. We don't
I like
need
to say that, and that connects with what you just said. I like to say that I'm a work in progress, you know, continuously, and a masterpiece simultaneously. So like you said, you don't have to get to the space where you feel like everything's perfect and you're fixed before you'll
never be
move
fixed.
forward. Yes.
There's nothing that's broken.
There's nothing that's broken. Everything is happening the way it's supposed to. And it's unfolding the right way, you know, and it's a lot of times it can be confusing. So it's good that that there's people like yourself that can help put people's minds at ease, that, hey, everything's fine, just the way it is. There's lessons here. You keep moving forward. You're your authentic self. You're perfect. You know, there's balance and contrast. There's everything, you know, so it's amazing. Yeah.
And I think, and as you probably know, in this field of personal growth, so to speak, we can get stuck in this perpetual cycle of healing and trying to get. And it, you know, that's not necessarily the best place to be, even though we think we're trying to heal, we're trying to do the best that we can, because I've been there before, right? When we get into it, we're trying to heal all these things, but the idea is that there's nothing to fix.
Because
we've just been making ourselves, we've just been making ourselves wrong.
If you're constantly, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
You're constantly, I get excited when you say key things and it causes a bell to go off.
Yes.
When you're constantly staying in a state of, like you said, trying to fix, then that means you're saying that you're broken, and you're going to continue this cycle of saying, I'm broken. I'm still working to fix myself. I'm broken for you know, eternity. And it's like, wait a minute, you got to get to a point and say, no, I'm not broken. You know, so that's amazing that you encourage people in that way, because I have to remind myself, like, wait a minute, man, what am I trying to fix? You know, constantly trying to fix. Yeah. It's like, and go ahead.
Yeah. Because we're so hard on ourselves, right? We can have these ridiculously high standards for ourselves, and like nothing's good enough. We're trying to be perfect, and there's nothing that's perfect. But I know for me, like, the language that helped me was, there's nothing to fix. Like, I need to stop making myself wrong for doing this or thinking that, and just own the beautiful masterpiece that I am, because it is all the tangles and the snags and all of it. It's all freaking beautiful.
And if I might add, a lot of what we do or go through is perspective, and everybody has different perspectives. So somebody could, you know, see it from a in your experience can condemn you for certain things, and other people can, encourage you through certain things. This is perspective. So you got to ground yourself and say, hey, I love myself basically for who I am. When I'm this way today, I still love myself. When I'm this way today, I still love myself, not just constantly reaching, okay, I fixed something today, so now I'm worthy of loving myself and being okay today, because you'll just drive yourself, so to speak, crazy,
Right.
and you'll keep reaching for something that's, like a carrot on a stick that you won't grasp unless you say, you know what, this minute, I'm perfect right now. I was created perfectly, and everything's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
It's owning your wholeness right now. Like,
then
you've given yourself permission to finally be happy right now.
Right. Because it's hard to be happy in a state where you're just constantly thinking that you're broken. And
broken. Yeah.
And that's been, a mindset that has been embedded in a lot of us, that, hey, we're broken. And then a lot of people, when I've had conversations, still just project that and say that, I'm broken. I have a lot of just trauma and I'm broken, blah, blah, blah. It's like, wait a minute, man. Everybody goes through things. Everybody has, so to speak, battles that they're overcoming. That doesn't mean you're broken. There's nothing wrong with you, you know?
Yeah, that means we're living life. But in an aspect of that too, I was just having this conversation with a group of mine this evening, was about, we get very addicted to the idea of struggle. Like we make things hard as this, like, as a facade to fit in, for this fear of being judged, of like, well, what if I have it easy? Then what are they going to think of me? Right? Like, oh God, that could be worse than the struggle. I better just choose the struggle and pretend that I'm in the trenches with everyone. We don't have to live in the trenches. Yes, we're going to go through struggle, but we don't have to live struggle. We don't have to live hard. And I was a person that made things very hard, as if I was going to have some badge of honor for, the harder I made it and the more I struggled, then that would have meant that I really deserved what I had. But there's no end to that. Right. So we have to just be like, all right, I don't need to do that anymore. I don't need to put on the facade of struggle. I get to disconnect from it. I get to choose that things just come easy for me because I'm smart and that's just how I was born. That's how we were all born.
Right. That reminds me of a conversation via social media that I had today. I can't remember everything in its entirety, but someone sent a message to me and they were talking about it. They commented on a post that I put up, and they end up saying that, oh, there's lots of wrong in the world, right? Okay, so my response to that is like, yeah, there's contrast, there's wrong, but I choose to place my energy and focus on what's right. And I have found that wherever you place your focus, that and your energy, that's what you see more of. It's not ignoring or trying to deny that there are negatives and wrongs in the world. It's just that I choose not to live there, to dwell there. It's exactly what you just said.
Exactly. I seriously just wrote about that this evening. The same idea is, when I'm talking about tapping into your deepest desires, the things that you've been making yourself wrong to want for yourself, and you start to feel the rightness of it instead of the wrongness of it, your whole energy does this 180. It's like your entire system alkalizes and you start to have this rapid, I call it a healing, but it's a flip of your energy, your poles flip, where you feel like, okay, I'm right. Like, you're no longer feeling like the world is on top of you. You're feeling like you're back on top of the world where you belong, when you start feeling the rightness of everything that you want. Because everything that you want, it's written on your heart as a heart's desire. Desire means of the sire, of spirit, of God, of universe, whatever your word is that you like. Yes. And if you didn't want it, then it wouldn't be yours, but you want it because it's made for you. It's designed for you.
There's something in there that's tapping you, saying, hey, And that's amazing. And just to rewind a bit and just to tell everyone that's watching, that yes, we all, believe it or not, we all have a purpose. And that's amazing that, you know, an extraordinary person such as yourself is here to help, you know, people, you know, to realize what their, you know, purpose is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's something I love to do. It makes the vibration of the planet much more harmonious when we're tapped into the rightness of who we are rather than the wrongness of who we are. Because we'll never be at peace with ourselves, and we'll never have peace on the planet if we can't find our own rightness. And it's there. It's there the moment you decide that it's there. It's just, boop, it's like that. So
That's
simple.
amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you're also, do you practice yoga, or are you a yoga teacher as well?
I'm a yoga teacher. Yeah, I've been doing that for 7 or 8 years now. And it's keeps me young. It keeps me happy. It's an amazing thing. I mean, I can go into a spiral in my mind if I don't move my body. I'm very much a movement-based person in my practice. When I work with my clients, I'm a big believer in the therapeutic value of movement, the evolution that happens when we move our body. It's very important to me.
Amazing. Yes, I don't practice yoga, but I do exercise and move my body every day. I believe that, you know, the human body is meant to move and not to be, you know, sedentary and just sat all the time. We have to move around, you know, to keep. I'm a firm believer. If you don't use it, you lose it. So, you know, you want to stay strong, you want to stay active, you want to, you know, stay lean and fit. You gotta move, you know.
You gotta move that energy. You gotta move that energy.
Yes, because it's so easy in today's, especially, you know, in this Western culture to not do anything. We have so many things that do things for us. It's easy to become just, you know, really lazy, to be honest with you. You know, I find myself, I have to tap say, hey, get up. You've been sitting on this couch too long. Go for a walk, go for a jog, get on that treadmill, get on the elliptical, do something, you know. So every day I'm doing something. Like earlier today, I ran 30 flights of stairs. So,
oh my gosh.
30 flights of stairs. And then I ran on the treadmill for a half hour and then did a little bit of resistance training. But I love it. I just love the way it makes me feel. And when I get too far from that, I don't feel right. So I've incorporated that as not a task, but a lifestyle. Probably what you've done with yoga. That's your lifestyle. That's not just something to check off a list of something you got to do. That's part of your lifestyle. You know?
Yeah, it's something I need. It moves my energy. It moves me out of stuck thoughts. It moves me out of contraction when I get contracted. And just, you know, and we need to go on a whole conversation about opening up the energy channels and clearing the pathways and clearing the chi and get that chi moving, that life force moving. But that's the most important thing. Just get that life force moving so that you feel alive, so that you feel yourself and you can decide to go do something amazing. But it reconnects you to yourself. So I don't know anything I've ever experienced that, you know, exercising or working out or doing yoga didn't, you know, make me feel better.
That's the same with me with meditation and writing a list in the morning and at night, what I like to call my gratitude list, which a friend of mine from Australia really turned me on to doing that, and I've been doing it ever since. She's an amazing person that just really you know, taught me that slow down and write down things that you're grateful for, and it really does wonders. So you also, I don't want to talk too much on it because I want people to get it, and it's not out yet, but you have a book coming out. And what's the name of that, the title of that book?
It's From Desperation to Liberation, The Path to Personal Freedom. So, you know, it incorporates, just a quick summary, it just incorporates, you know, kind of everything that we've talked about, how to go from that feeling of desperation, like my life's not working, or there's something wrong that I can't fix, to how to do that quantum flip to get yourself right into liberation and move that energy so that you are the power player in your life rather than like the victim of your life. And it's a different path than most people think it is. But I'm really excited to share everything that I've kind of accumulated over the past 12 years of working with people in my practice, that they have the tools, like the steps to walk themselves through the same process if they choose that.
Yes, that title is just simply amazing. It almost like self-explanatory. Like it's definitely a great title that makes you want to see, to pick it up and open up the pages and see. So where will it be available? On your own website, on Amazon? Where can people find it, and when?
Yeah, so most likely we'll run it through Amazon. Hopefully by the end of November, that will be out and ready. So it'll be a little bit, but that's the plan, the end of November. And I'm super excited. It's been a couple years in the writing, in some re-editing, after you figure different things out, you gotta go back.
I'm sure it's a process.
Rewrite. Yeah. But I'm super excited to get that out into the hands of people so that they can start doing these things on their own, if they can't make it to me.
Oh, I want to have you back on this show when your book comes out, so we can show it. And, not tell them about it, because they got to pick it up and get it, but just to sort of let them know, hey, the book's out now, go get it, and here it is, and
Yes, I'd love to do that. That'd be fun. Yeah.
Right. Amazing. So before I let you go, how can people find you? Now, I know you sent me some links, and I'm going to incorporate those in the description of this video when I upload it to my YouTube channel. But while we're here, how can people find you?
Yeah, so the best place to find me, where I hang out the most, is in my Instagram stories, which is Kelly M. Libby. And you'll see the link here. You can also, if you have questions, you can email me at kelly@kellymlibby.com. In the process of redoing my entire website, so it's more user-friendly. Right now, it's kind of just like an encyclopedia. But that's Kelly at, where is that? Oh, www.kellymlibby.com. But those are the places where you can reach out and find me, ask me questions, see what I'm teaching. I teach a lot of different programs, as well as I do private consulting, private coaching, and some random one-on-one group classes, workshops at different places in the United States. So you'll see all that in my Instagram, most likely.
Wow, absolutely amazing. And before we conclude, are there any last words or phrase or anything that you would like to say?
Yeah. And I'm just going to reiterate what I said before, because this is like the message that's really coming through the ethers right, this week is, stop making yourself wrong for what you want. And I love the power of a question. So a question I will leave people with to tap into your own subconscious is, what could you stop making yourself wrong about, that if you did, would give you exactly what you want in this moment? So I'm going to word that another way to get into your subconscious another way. So where have you been making yourself wrong that's blocking you from having exactly what you want right now?
Wow, amazing. Thank you very much, Kelly, for coming on the show today. I appreciate you very much, and just very insightful, and just you have so much energy and just so much insight, and I just thank you for sharing it with us, sharing it with me. Thank you. Amazing.
Thank you
and like
so
I
much.
said,
It's been a pleasure to have this conversation. Thank you for having me.
Right. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Kelly Libby. See you soon.
Awesome.
Enlightened, empowered, evolved. Love and appreciation to everyone.